Right, hello. It's Friday. It's World of WoqlCraft time. So, oh my, I'm feeding back again. 1 sec. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, again, mistakes. I always forget to mute my other computer, so it's feeding back. Okay, right. So, today, sorry. First of all, sorry about that. This is gonna be a shorter episode again because we finally kind of finished the Python client. I would say that is 99% finished. I was actually at the process of deploying it before streaming because there's always little things, so it's kind of taking longer than I thought. So yeah, so I can't release it before the tutorial. So yeah, but I will show you what is new, and so you can install it afterwards. Yeah, so of course, there's like still more stuff that need to be done. There will be more, still need to increase the test coverage, which now is like I've checked this morning is like around 68%, which my goal is always 80 or above. I know I've actually like I've worked on an open source project that they're requiring 100%, which is like crazy. But for me, it's like 80% or above. Like above 90 is good, about 80 is acceptable, but now it's totally unacceptable. So, and also documentation, we need a lot of notch of documentation, because there are actually like some changes. So today I'm going to show you what has been changed and what is new in the Python client. And so yeah, I promised afterwards, like when this is, there's less work to be done, then I could spend more time into making more interesting tutorial again. But today I just got to show you with like what is new in the Python client, like what we have trying hard to make your life easier. So so you can see now it's like that's my tutorial repo here on the left hand side. And so I am now, if you can see my terminal, I'm now like using a test environment, which I have installed the development, like my local development version of the Python client. So this is the version that which I am trying to release like like before, this I started streaming. So hopefully it will be the same as the one that if you pip install later. Also, we try to change the name of the client. That we try to change it into TerminusDB client instead of Woql client, because I think it's a bit confusing that because in the previous version you pip install terminus client python, it's a weird name, and then afterwards you pip install you import Woql client, which is super weird. So we try to make it right this time. And oh, this one is okay. This one is somebody sent me this file, so I was testing it. So ignore it for now. It won't be uploaded. But yeah. So now it'll be terminus DB client. So you import terminus DB client here. And so now we have actually like three directory. I hope I could show you. Let me remove all this junk. So actually, like you can see here, if I make it bigger. Oops, zoom in, zoom in, zoom in, zoom in. Yeah, always like feedback if someone tell me if it's big enough or small enough, so I know that what you're seeing is good or not. Because sometimes I can't tell. I'm using, some people use a bigger screen, some people use a smaller screen. So, but I hope you can see it now. That we have actually break down into three components in the Terminus DB client. We should also like put that in the README and also the documentation, which is the work that's like a coming few weeks a month that we gotta do. Um, so now it will be the Woql client and Woql query will be separate. So now like when you import it, you would import it, dot client or dot query, because some people will just be using API. I think in the future maybe like think about how to yes, I just think that like maybe some people would be just using the client, but I can't see like how you can use the client without the query. But anyway, we have separate these two. So yeah, so now is when you import it, this is not what I would love to do. So usually what I would love to do is something like, let's see if I can find the example here for you. Yes, I want to like do it like in parallel. So you import the Woql client from your the Terminus clients. Yeah, I'm thinking like maybe I should put this on the top level as well. Yeah, maybe I would do this I don't know. Maybe let me have a think afterwards. I can still change it because I haven't really deployed yet, so I can still have a last minute change if I want to. But yeah, I'm thinking like maybe this is a little bit tedious, is it? Yeah. There's nobody there can tell you like in the chat like, yeah, I think maybe that would be change. I'm still like debating how should I expose it, but yeah, maybe I just like put it on top level. And okay, so what else we have? Okay, so what we have actually is there's a new thing that so now when you create a database, actually there will be like two graphs that's needed. One would be the instance graph, one would be the schema graph. So before it's kind of like handled under the hood. Now actually, if you just like create database here, it also will deal with the schema graph under the hood for you. But if you want to, you can actually do that. You can just set include schema, I think, yeah, equal to false. Then it won't create the schema graph for you, and you have to create the schema graph yourself. Okay. But because I'm lazy and also I don't want to deal with this, so now it's under the hood. It will create the schema graph for you automatically, which is, I think is good, especially for our current users that they used to just create a database. So I think that's easier. And what else? What else is new? So now when you create a database, here you have to put in, well, like before, you have to put in the DB ID. Also, you have to put in the user. So if you are running it locally on your TerminusDB, then the Docker image, TerminusDB Docker image, then your username will just be admin. So this is for people when later when there is help, when you create an account with help, you have your username. Then when you, for example, you're doing something like with remote, and then if your graph is like a remote repo, then this user will be useful. But now just put admin if you're doing it locally. Don't worry too much about it yet, but just need to know you need this arguments now. And afterwards, you can put in your the metadata for your graph, so you can put in the label. And so this one, I don't know why it's like this, because yeah, because I think you can put it as a keyword argument. So let me double check with the Python client. I think we could now put it in as a keyword argument. So this is a bit surprising to me that why we have to do it like that. I think you can do it both ways, but I'm not so sure. Sorry. Oh, you're flashing. The windows are flashing because yeah, yeah. Sorry about that. Let me see if I can. Oops. Now it's white. Okay, because I'm trying to open the Python client, but I think I was hiding it somewhere that you can't see. Yeah. Sorry about that. I'm just quickly check whether you can just create it without yeah, create it without using that, because like I don't think that's very Pythonic, and I won't put it like this if I'm designing it. I think that's like my colleague just because we have the JavaScript client and then we just like translate it directly there. So that's why we have this funny design, which I think is yeah, I won't do it this way. Maybe I would try to fix that as well. So there are more things that I found that I want to change. Oh my god. Yeah. Yeah, details. Okay, so yeah, I would change this actually to be a keyword argument, I think. Yeah. Yeah, so I think I would change it into a keyword argument that when you put in, then yeah, then it would be, you don't have to put it in a dictionary, I think. Yeah, so this one is you can put in the detail here, so you can have your label for your graph, and the comment will be actually the description of your graph. So I think I would change this into a keyword argument because I really don't like it this way. So yeah, so I would change it into so there will be two so kind of like this. So it would be like keyword arguments rather than a dictionary that you pass in, because I don't like passing dictionaries. If I could avoid, sometimes you can't. Okay. Another thing that I've done, because like my work is mainly focusing on Waco, WoqlPy. So that's something that I've changed. So uh, all this, that's what I gotta do today. I gotta like kind of update this piece into a new one. So you can see that what has been changed. So oh, there's already some changes here. So the first thing that has been changed is that now you can, instead of having all these like chaining dots here, because I already updated previously, so you can just put in the label and description. So this is what I want to do when you create a database. So I want it to be consistent. So you just put in label and description here. And yeah, so you can also omit a description. That's totally okay. For property, actually, you can do the same. So what I gotta do is I gotta change this, and we gotta do a test run here. So yeah, do this. So actually, it's good that like I know why people like people do the rubber duck programming, because sometimes when you explain things to people, then you kind of see things that you kind of blind before. So like the thing that I talked about before, that the things that I want to change that I haven't like think about it, or hasn't like really look at it like in details, that I think, oh, actually it's good to change that. So yeah, that's what I gotta do. Maybe after this streaming, I gotta fix that, and hopefully we can release the TerminusDB client, the Python version, today, because I really, really want to get it done this week. Because I know that there are people using the newest client already. I really want to like finish it, so people can like, they don't have to clone the from our DAF branch, and it's kind of unfinished, So I was like, that's bad. So I really want it to be done. So yeah, so this can be like this. I think I have asked in talks and before that, like whether people like it this way. I think Python people, they like it this way rather than like chaining things like quite a lot. So yeah, but these can be avoided. Like these properties, it still need to be like this for now. That can't be changed, but at least I changed something. So this is like kind of reminds me of using Keras or TensorFlow. I think Keras is more like accurate. So you kind of have these chaining thing, but inside you can also have parameters for your layers. So this is kind of, I think of it like this. So yeah, at least this is not too bad, I think. Yeah. So again, IDGen, I can't change much for this. And I haven't changed much for this actually. So insert, you can actually do the label thing again like that as well. So let me try to change it into our a version that you can just do this, right? And description, you don't need that as well. You can make it like this. Yeah. So actually you can do it both ways. This is just an extra syntactic candy that you could do, but it's not necessary. You don't necessarily need to do it like this. Um, yeah, because like you can just do it the old way, it will still be fine. But yeah, it's just that I think it's nicer for new users, that it's easier for them to think what these are. I just think that is yeah, it's easier to understand rather than like adding an extra thing. It's just like a parameters for this object, so people can think things like kind of in object. So I think it's easier to compose as well. And here. Okay, let's try to run the script. I think this is fine now. And let me try. Oops, sorry. I'm I always like, because I have so many things in my computer, I sometimes like get lost within like all the windows and stuff. So let's try to run this. So this is Py tutorial, and this is Python, and it's very nested structure here. Okay. So let's see. So now also like the other thing we do, we get rid of all these messages when you run it. So if you don't see anything, that'll be fine. If there's something wrong, it would just flow a value error in your face, or violation if there is. So there's like actually two types of error it could be flow back in. So the first one will be if it's like on the front end side. So if you make some mistakes, for example, if you use a quote but you use a quote but you only put 3 arguments, or if you put in some values that is invalid, then it will just like flow in an error for you. Uh, but if there's some, like when you build a data graph and all this, like when you have a violation at the back end, it will also flow it in for you. But if it's okay like this, then it's like running okay. But it's just that this is a big it's a bigger file because we are loading all these CSV from the other file here. So we are loading all this, so that's why it's take a while. But it's a good sign that it's not showing anything in the terminal actually. So it's cleaner, no more update messages, and let me know whether you like it or not, because we can still change that. We could actually have a method that we can have all these things, save in a log or something. But I think but if we do that, we have to also save the errors in the log as well. So I still have to think about what's the best way of doing that. Okay. So yeah. So this is done. So let's check our database here. So now it's like before. This is like if you have an empty database, you will have this. But now, yeah, we have the pipe bike here. So you can see there's like 40 commits because we load in like lots of CSV in there. So you can see all these. So you will get a commit message now, because when you now you do some updates to your graph, you actually have you send in a commit message. So now it's actually so it's not open 18. So this is wrong because I haven't pumped the version yet. But after pumping the version, it will be open 1.0. So yeah, and so there's timestamp there. It doesn't make much sense here. Yeah, but this is kind of like front end thing, so like maybe the front end team can change that. And yeah, so now all these like updates is like this. But actually, you can put in your commit message when you run execute. I think you can put in your commit message. Let me double check, because yeah, I can't really remember everything. So yeah, I wish I could show you both like my atom thing so you could see what I'm doing here. But it's yeah, oh yeah. So yeah, you can put in your commit message when you run execute. So here, let me show you here. Yeah, so when you run execute, if you don't put in anything, it will be that default message. So now actually you can put in your commit message to be like loading. Actually, this is better. I think loading and then I can have the URL here. So I can be like loading this into the graph. Okay, so let's try if this one will work. Okay, so what I gotta do is to yeah, I gotta delete it and run it again. I think that's the easiest way to show you the difference. So now you can see um this is the default message here. So it's query generated by Python clients is a bit lame, so we don't know which one is which. So what I gotta do now is like to delete it. So I think last week I gave you a tour, so you see that now when we delete it, we have to type in the database, ID, which I have already remembered it. Okay, so let's run it again, and yeah, I did save it, right? Yeah, I did. So yeah, I think this is a better example to have a commit message here to show people. I will also update all the tutorials, which is a lot of work, but it's also good to test that the Python client is working all right. And yeah, and there's a lot of work that needs to update. Okay, so the other thing would be I can also update this one. Yeah, anything interesting that I'm thinking of like could show you, because like other things just work more or less the same. We didn't change much for the the side of how the API work. It's just like we make necessary changes because now we can do all this branching, merging, and time travel thing. So we need to update that, and also later, because like not in this, not today, but like later we would also have all those functions that you could do your time travel. So basically they are just queried there. So now it's actually you can do that with the WoqL query, but it's quite a complex query if you do that yourself. So we actually have plans to give you some pre-written query as a function. So it's a high-level functions that you could run to do the time traveling. because you basically just like making WoqL queries in your commit graph, so you can change where your head is pointing, so you could actually do different operations with your graphs. So this is pretty cool. And yeah, let me think what else I could show you. Um, yeah, oh, is it done yet? No, it's, oh yeah, it's done. Okay, so let's have a look at the graph here. So we have a new graph, and yeah, now you can see that the commit message is showing that we are loading the data into the graph. So yeah, you can you can have all these commit messages. I think it's quite cool because it's kind of matching the time travel thing, and also now it's more Pythonic in this way. And oh, one other thing is like that oh, I can't really show you here because yeah, it's just like now when you do the triple and quad, I put the options as a extra argument there, so you could also control it there as well. So I think that's it. Like, sorry, today is a bit short. I'm just gonna show you what's new in the Python client and the development of it. And yeah, I gotta, I still have lots of, things that I want to fine tune the edges. Like for example, that arguments when you like, I want it to be this one to be more Pythonic, to put in there. It's just label and comment. Like I don't want it to be, fancy. And if you have a lot of arguments, then maybe it's good to put in a dictionary. But this is just, you don't need, yeah, you don't need to do it this way. Um, and yeah, I think that's it, really. I hope you like the new Python client better. If you have any like comments, like yeah, I may also improve this one because like this is a bit clumsy, is it? So yeah, if you have any like comments, any suggestions, let me know. My Twitter is opened, or join our TerminusDB community on Discord, and just tell me what do you think is better, what works better, and we'll try to improve the Python client. And we gotta have more functionalities, more things available for you, make it easier for you to use TerminusDB to build a data graph. So that's it for this week. I would see you very, very soon for the next tutorial. Bye!